morning, good afternoon. Thank you for introduction. Let's immediately jump to this picture as we talk about payments, mobility in the future. Looking at this small kid, can you imagine what he sees through his glasses? How his future is going to look like? How he's going to drive? If he's going to drive, maybe he will be driven by the car as well. At the same, what's going to be his payment experience? From my personal note, I have a kid, similar age, and I'm raising the same questions. How he will be paying for a highway while passing through the tolls as well, maybe just jumping into the petrol station, maybe even petrol station will arrive to him as well. What will be his overall experience with this connected car and also the commerce in the car as well? I have a few minutes to cover a few areas. What is the role of Mastercard? As we usually say, and I said it also yesterday, there are things money can buy. For everything else, you have your Mastercard. So hopefully, in the coming minutes, I will also tell you how do we see different trends, how I see from the payment perspective, what are the trends, what are the evolutions, but because of that, what is also the complexity, how we could solve it together. The other area I will cover as well, how are we helping already today, and at the end, I will wrap up the entire story in the short video. So few notes, I have noted this down here when I was listening also to the presentation and I was thinking about the automotive. So from my perspective, automobility has an enormous possibility, especially while delivering a relevant but also sustainable solution. When I'm saying sustainable, it's not that something we launch just for the PR purposes, but it really lasts for a longer period of time. From that perspective, I see that industry is already changing. So the changes are already there. On top of that, there is always experience and trust. And here, from Mastercard perspective, I could also expand trust towards safety and security. And last but not least, if we go today for a shopping, if we quickly pop in to the store, can be a very short experience. From my perspective, the e-vehicle is becoming a very unique place where commerce may happen, because I may be driving for a longer period of time, so there may be more relevant touch points. And then, when I'm particularly looking from this industry changing, so as I said, question, will it be my car? Maybe I will be sharing the ride, maybe I will be sharing a car with somebody else. On top of that, will I drive the car myself? Or maybe it will be autonomous vehicle, so actually I may be sitting on the back seat or somewhere else and maybe making a purchase maybe from my mobile. So I will have even more time to enjoy as well. What we also see and how we work with our partners, and our partners primarily the banks which issue the card, and also acquirers which at the end acquire the transactions as well, and different service providers, we can't only think about traditional car manufacturers. There are many, many other players which are appearing there on the market, especially in the car sharing area, names which we haven't seen before at all. And then it is a link as well with the business model. So before, the business model looking also at the payment, maybe I went to the petrol station, I pay for the fuel, I went for the car park, but now there can be many more value-added services which I may be needing to buy as well and enjoy overall driving. Going to the next area, so this trust and experience. Few very important areas as well. So as we enjoy comfort at our home, sitting in our own sofa, I shall have the same or even bigger comfort in my car. So again, this comfort perspective is very, very important. What kind of experiences I can have there? Can I download the music? Can I download some maybe movie? I need to have it also immediately delivered. As I'm saying, we cannot compromise on safety and security, so that's the key. Whatever we manage to develop and support, it needs to be there as well. And as I mentioned, because the vehicle is such a specific place, I may be even dependent somehow from that. And then it brings me to the next point about what is also captured here about the captive audience. So somehow I'm captured in this place. I cannot move very quickly because then I'm driving for the specific time of time. So that's very, very important. On top of that, you could even imagine what's your driving experience. Maybe you wake up in the morning, you want to drive to work, so 7:30, 8, whatever time, you are there. Maybe you're half an hour in the car. Then you leave the car in the garage, and then you go back. Maybe during the weekend, you go a bit farther. I go in my region quite a little between the countries. I spend maybe 3, 4, 5 hours in the car while driving as well. So I can have a pretty long experience there in the car where commerce can be offered as well. So that we really pay attention to that as well. On top of that, if we see what we develop, and I will talk on the next part about also interfaces, if we have something in the mobile may be changing in a year time, in 2 years time, maybe cars are lasting longer. So also this replacement of the car and the cycles are a bit longer. So therefore, whatever is being developed, of course, any software needs to be updated, but that's what we also need to take into account, which is very, very important for us. And last but not least, as I said, this immediate fulfillment. So if I need the music, if I need the Wi-Fi, it needs to be delivered to me immediately. Maybe at the same time, I'm ordering flowers for my wife. I want them to be delivered even before I arrive. If I'm buying something additional, maybe buying the grocery or anything else, I want to have it at home as well. So again, this immediate, let's say, fulfillment of the payment is very important. That brings me to the, I'm a bit cautious of the time, brings me to the next part about these different interfaces. So as far as trends are there, we are also paying a strong attention to these different areas. So firstly, ownership and identity. So before any transaction happens, again, from the safety security perspective, it's very important to authenticate customer. Whether to authenticate before, today we authenticate cardholder, maybe in the future we'll be authenticating the car. So this is extremely important area, whether it's my own car, whether I'm sharing, whether I have to pay attention to the driver, to the owner of the car, or maybe the passenger, because it's passenger who is making some transactions. And as I mentioned, all these interfaces. So is it the interface in the car, or actually nothing changes, because as today I'm paying with my mobile phone, I'm actually buying in the car from mobile as well. That brings me to this small conclusion, and I pull this slide together because I see that Mastercard is already fitting extremely well to mobility. I can't imagine how to drive on the different wheels than round ones, so even from the shape perspective. As I mentioned, together with the banks, together with acquirers, we already help to pay for highways, pay for tolls, pay for parking. If I need to also fuel the car, whatever I see, I can immediately stop and pay as well. So just to show these trends, interfaces, and also how the payment is made, please play the video here, and hopefully it works well here.
Your vehicle is getting more connected every day, and Mastercard helps make those connections matter. We unlock opportunities to engage you at every turn, enabling experiences that are personalized and convenient. At every step, we put you in control. You manage access, set parameters, and shape your experience, while we make your security our priority. From passengers to drivers, in the fast lane and the parking lot, our technology helps you focus on what matters. This is the future of payments. We don't wait for it, we build it. Working with our partners, Mastercard is breaking new ground in mobility. We enable experiences that keep you connected and make a difference in your world, with solutions that move with you and follow your lead. Together, we're going places. The possibilities, like the road ahead, are endless. And the journey, it's always priceless.
Trust you enjoyed it. Please keep using your Mastercard. In case of any questions, feel free to reach out after the presentation. I will be on the corridor. And thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of the day.